There are some stories that never fade, no matter how much time passes. Some faces stay in your heart even when you can't see them anymore. The lights of Beverly Hills have changed, but somewhere in those streets, a memory still walks, a red dress, a smile that stopped a man in his tracks, and a love that was never meant to last. Destiny, as it often does, is never really finished. Sometimes, the heart finds its way back to where it all began. The city glows in the quiet of early morning. Soft sunlight rushes across tall glass buildings and empty sidewalks that once held laughter. The streets hum with a kind of silence only found in places that remember love. A limousine rolls by, its windows tinted, its memory clear. Somewhere behind that glass, once upon a time, two people changed each other's worlds. One by accident, the other by fate. The rhythm of the city hasn't slowed, but everything feels older now. Shops open, people hurry by, and life goes on. Yet the air still carries a faint trace of perfume, the same one she wore that night. The camera glides past elegant boutiques, roses in store windows, and the soft reflection of a woman walking by. Her figure is familiar. Her steps are calm but heavy with years gone by. There's no sound except the soft echo of her heels, a quiet reminder that some goodbyes never really end. Time has turned their story into something like a dream, something too beautiful to believe, too painful to forget. He, the man who built an empire out of cold numbers and calm decisions, once gave his heart to a woman who showed him how to feel. She, the woman who came from nowhere, once found herself in a world that wasn't built for her, and somehow she made it her own. Now, after all these years, the world has changed, but the memory of them hasn't. It still lingers like the melody of an old song, softly playing in the background of their lives. In a quiet apartment overlooking the city, a stack of letters rests in a wooden box. The paper has yellowed with time. One envelope sits open, the ink slightly faded. It's addressed in familiar handwriting, elegant, careful, as if afraid to say too much. A single line is visible: if ever you find yourself walking past the Regent again, look up. I'll be there. The camera lingers, the light from the window catching the edge of the paper. The music swells faintly, gentle piano notes whispering like a heartbeat. Across town, a man sits alone in his office. The years have carved wisdom into his face, and the room is filled with success, awards, photographs, polished furniture. Yet something is missing. His gaze drifts to a picture frame turned down on his desk. He reaches for it, hesitates, then lifts it upright. It's her, smiling and guarded, radiant. The kind of smile that only exists when someone makes you believe in magic. His eyes soften. A quiet sigh escapes. For the first time in years, he lets the memory in. The city moves on, but something is shifting. A soft rain begins to fall, tapping against glass. Lights blur into golden streaks as night takes over. Somewhere, two souls, once strangers, then lovers, now ghosts of memory, breathe the same air again, unaware that the world is quietly setting the stage for their return. The wind carries the faint sound of laughter. A flash of red silk swirls in the corner of the frame. For a brief second, it almost feels like she's there again, walking the same street, chasing the same dream. Only this time, time itself seems to be waiting for her. As the camera fades into black, only one thought lingers: sometimes the past isn't gone. It's just waiting for a second chance. The rain doesn't stop that night. It falls softly, like time itself washing away what once was. The city glimmers through the mist, glass towers glowing, car lights stretching across wet streets. Somewhere beneath that glow, life goes on, but not for everyone. Some hearts are still caught between what happened and what could have been. He stands at the window of his high-rise, staring out at the core of the city below. The reflection of his face, older, sharper, lonelier, stares back at him. In the background, a melody plays from a vinyl record he hasn't touched in years. It's the same tune she once danced to barefoot in his living room, laughing, wild, alive. Now the sound feels distant, like a photograph fading in the rain. He built everything he thought he wanted: companies, properties, control. But in chasing the world, he lost the only person who ever made it feel small enough to hold in his arms. His eyes moved toward the corner of the room, where a glass case holds a single red stiletto. He never meant to keep it. It wasn't a trophy or a souvenir. It was a promise he couldn't let go of. Every now and then, when the night stretches too long, he wonders if she ever forgave him for letting her walk away, for not chasing after her when she did. Across town, the world looks different. The same city hums, but from the other side, smaller apartments, warmer lights, quieter dreams. She's there, sitting at a small table covered in sketches and fabric samples. Her hands move gently, stitching pieces of satin together under the dim glow of a lamp. Her hair has a streak of silver now, and her smile comes slower, softer, touched by years of learning when to hold on and when to let go. Once she had a fairy tale ending, but fairy tales end at happily ever after. Real life keeps going. She still remembers the way he looked at her that night, not the night they met, but the night they said goodbye. The city lights behind him, the limousine door open, her heart breaking even as she smiled. She told herself it was for the best, that their worlds were too far apart, that love wasn't enough. But sometimes, when she's alone, she catches herself whispering his name just to see how it feels again. Years have passed, and they both learned how to live without each other. But the truth is simpler and more painful, they never